Here we'll talk a bit about PCI compliance. There's no silver bullet for PCI compliance or other compliance metrics, but StealthWatch does help you meet a number of the requirements. Using StealthWatch, we can gather detailed information about host-to-host communication, what time they started, packets sent and received, ports, protocols, applications, so on and so forth. This is very useful for a forensic trail for the data and a requirement for PCI. We can identify machines communicating with protected systems, prioritize misbehaving hosts on the network, acting as IDS, and then we can determine users accountable for the behavior, whether it just be unauthorized access or those types of IDS events. Using StealthWatch, we can analyze both direct and indirect threats to our PCI-related resources. This dashboard is designed to give us report-level statistics for what's going on relating to our PCI zones. Here we can see data moving into and out of our PCI zone. Just to the right, we find alarms that are affecting our PCI zone. So in this case, we see that there's a suspect data loss alarm associated with one of the hosts in our PCI zone. Here, they've uploaded a greater amount of data out of the zone than we would normally have expected. This same component is looking for alarms related to suspect long flow and beaconing hosts, where we may have some sort of botnet-related activity slowly smuggling data off of the system. And then finally, it's looking for host logs, where systems that should not be communicating to my PCI zone have managed to establish connections. Just below this segment, we detail what users have logged into the PCI zone over the course of the day. So we've got an audit history of who's accessing these resources, as well as what machines have passed the most data to and from this particular system over the course of the last day. Now this is a great way to report on the traffic directly into and out of the PCI dashboard and alarms directly affecting these resources. But one of the advantages that StealthWatch brings to this mix is that it really is analyzing the entire network. So we're capable of notifying you about indirect threats to PCI data as well. We can very easily prioritize hosts that are misbehaving on the network at large. Right? So in this perspective, we're doing IDS type functions to be able to tell you about what systems are creating the greatest threat and giving you a very easy way to prioritize those threats so that you can mitigate against them before they begin to affect your key resources.